Hi everyone, I'm Barbara, the Adult Services Librarian at the North Brunswick Library, and I'm back again today to read you another section from Everything I Need to Know I Learned from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And the last time we left off right here. You've got to do it. I like to swim, but there are some days I just don't feel much like doing it. But I do it anyway. I know it's good for me, and I promise myself I do it every day. And I like to keep my promises. That's one of my disciplines. Inside you think, I've kept at this, and I've really learned it. Not by magic, but by my own work. Trying your best. We've all experienced the leap of faith required to start a project or learn something new. It takes courage to face a challenge and discipline to master a new skill. When we were children, we had to take risks to learn new things all the time. Mr. Rogers showed us that we couldn't just imagine something into being. We had to try to make it happen. If we wanted to learn to roller skate, we weren't just going to put on the skates and glide perfectly across the floor. We needed to put in the effort to learn. We'd fail, and we might even skin our knees, but once we achieved our goal, we could take pride in it all the more because of the work it took to master it. When I was young, I started to take clarinet lessons, but I just didn't practice, so I didn't learn. I think I wanted to learn by magic. I think I had the idea that if I got the clarinet, I would somehow know how to play it. It doesn't work that way. Magic doesn't work with learning, not with anything really worthwhile. Did you hear how he said he has made lots of mistakes as he learned new things? Everybody does. That's all part of trying, of not being afraid of making mistakes. And as you keep trying and you do better and better, it can give you such a good feeling. It's okay to make mistakes. So many times we imagine the perfect creation, but when we try to reproduce our idea, the result is nothing like the beautiful image in our mind. It can stop us in our tracks. Mr. Rogers reminded us that it's usually impossible to learn new things without making mistakes. We watched him laughing and smiling as he awkwardly mixed up dance moves with Ella Jenkins, dropped balls while juggling, and tried to use a hula hoop. He showed us by example that we can have fun doing something even if we don't do it just right. Practice. Mr. Rogers helped us know that practice and self-discipline are essential to accomplishing our goals. He often introduced us to musicians, dancers, artists, craftspeople, and athletes with extraordinary talents. Time and again, when talking to these guests, Mr. Rogers asks them how they started out and what it took for them to be able to do the things they do. He'd emphasize that even though their performances seemed effortless, it actually took years of work and daily practice to reach their skill level. When professional tap dancer Sam Weber visited, Mr. Rogers told us it may look easy when someone as good as Sam Weber does his dance and we're just looking at him, but it takes a lot of work to dance really well. It's fun, and it's a lot of work. When I was learning to play the piano, I made so many mistakes. It didn't sound very good at all. But my parents and my teacher told me that making mistakes was all part of learning. So I just kept at it, and I really enjoy it now. If there's something you really want to do, it's worth all the practice time. The best way to learn something well is to ask somebody to help you with it, but it takes hours and hours of practice to be really good at it. In fact, it takes a lot of practice to be really good at almost everything, but it's worth it. Asking for help. When we're experiencing the ups and downs of learning a new skill, help from someone who cares can make all the difference. When Prince Tuesday got a new bicycle from his parents, he grew frustrated with learning how to ride. Handyman Negri happened upon the prince, who told him that he'd been practicing for a whole day. but the bicycle wouldn't stay up long enough for him to ride it. Handyman Negri explained that learning often takes much longer than one day, and he offered to help. Later, with Handyman Negri's continued support, Prince Tuesday told Anna Platypus that he felt like throwing his bike away because he was so angry, but having the help of Handyman Negri made him feel better. What a nice reminder of how a good teacher can empower us to feel so much better about ourselves as we learn. Don't forget the fun. Do you ever feel as if you just have to play? That's an important feeling. It helps you know who you are and who you want to be. No matter what game you play, you can be yourself, and that's all you ever have to be. Playing is learning. Mr. Rogers took play seriously, and he let us know how essential it is for growing all through our lives. As he played, he showed us that play could help us try on new roles and master new skills and learn about the world no matter how old we are. Playing is one of the most important things you can do when you're a child. And if you're learning to make up your own kind of play with whatever plaything you have, you're learning one of the most important things for growing. Using our imagination. Mr. Rogers encouraged children to play and explore. With him, we imagine stories about the neighborhood of make-believe, where anything can happen. A boomerang can turn the world upside down. Purple Panda can magically appear and disappear. And cereal can fall like snow. In his television house, we could pretend an empty cardboard box was almost anything. Did you ever grow anything in a vegetable garden? Do you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? Sure. You can grow ideas in your mind. You can think about things and make believe things, and that's like growing something of your own. You have wonderful ideas. All you have to do is think about them, and they'll grow. Playing can help your feelings too. Many children I know seem to be able to play about their worries and sometimes feel some comfort for their sadness. Play is important. When Bob Dog became hurt while he was playing, King Friday made a rule banning all play in the neighborhood. He thought it was a way to keep everyone safe. But Lady Elaine didn't want to live in a place where there was no play allowed. So she used her boomerang, toomerang, sumerang to magically move her museum go-round to a park where she was free to play. Everyone was sad, so they decided to go against the king's ruling and built a new playground of their own. The king was upset when he saw it, and it was Prince Tuesday, the king's son, who stood up to his father. He explained that everyone needs to play. He helped his father realize he was wrong, and the king reversed his rule. Mr. Rogers helped us realize that big or small, all of us need to play as a way to express ourselves. Some of the things that you feel like doing to express yourself when you're little, you keep developing all during your lifetime. That's one of the great things about people growing. And here's Mr. Rogers with one of his neighbors on a seesaw. You can play at any age. Mr. Rogers showed us how adults can be playful, too. We saw him roller skating at a roller rink and playing mini golf with Mr. McFeely. We also saw how music presents an opportunity for play, as when Mr. Rogers laughingly sat at a child-sized toy piano, joining Joe Negri on guitar and Bob Rawsthorne on stump fiddle for a whimsical concerto for toys. Their smiles and laughter made it clear what a great time they were having. Did you ever try your shoes on your hands? It's fun to think of different things like that, isn't it? It's like playing with ideas. In fact, that's how people invent new things. They just start to play with ideas and let their imaginations have a good time. I'm going to stop right there. And the next time that we read again. We will be up to When You're Wondering, You're Learning. So take care, everyone. Bye-bye.